Imagine this. The cold morning fog rolls across Crimea, silent and thick like a curtain drawn before a deadly performance. Beneath that fog, something mechanical hums, small, unassuming, yet lethal beyond measure. Ukraine has been waiting, watching, calculating. For months, their eyes in the sky, drones, satellites, and agents tracked one thing: the pattern of Russia's air defense resupply. And on September 14th, 2025, when the moment finally came, it wasn't just a strike, it was a statement. A statement that modern warfare has evolved, no longer about who has the biggest missile, but who has the smartest mind. Welcome back to the channel, where we unravel the unseen wars shaping tomorrow. But today's story, oh, this one, might just make you question everything you thought you knew about power, timing, and technology on the modern battlefield. Because what if I told you that a $15,000 drone, yes, cheaper than a Tesla's paint job, wiped out $8 million worth of Russian air defense missiles in under 10 minutes? Unreal? Maybe. But true? Absolutely. It all started when Ukrainian intelligence picked up unusual satellite patterns, Russian convoys moving at night, headlights off, deep inside Crimea. But here's the twist. They weren't carrying soldiers. They were hauling S-400 air defense missiles, some of the most advanced and expensive pieces of hardware in Russia's arsenal. The Ukrainians didn't strike immediately. No, they waited for the perfect psychological and tactical moment, the very moment Russia restocked their launchers after weeks of depletion. Why hit them when they're strong, when you can crush them when they think they're safe? It's not just strategy, it's psychological warfare 101. Now enter the heroes of the hour, the Leleka 100 reconnaissance drone and the Magura V5 robotic boat. Think of Leleka 100 as the invisible eye, flying quietly, mapping the convoy, identifying patterns in Russian radio chatter. It was like watching a chessboard from above, every move calculated, every silence suspicious. The Leleka's advanced frequency hopping tech allowed it to outsmart the Russian Krasuha 4 jamming systems, which usually blind incoming drones. But this time, the jammer became the jammed. A little humor for you, it's like bringing a laser pointer to a gunfight and realizing your batteries just died. Once the coordinates were confirmed, the Magura V5 took center stage. This sleek robotic boat, cruising miles off the coast, opened its base to unleash Wild Hornet FPV drones. Fast, small, packed with precision explosives, and armed with AI-assisted navigation. They cut through the fog like hawks in a storm, unseen and unstoppable. Russian radars barely registered them. Within seconds, those drones were above the convoy, hovering, waiting, calculating angles. Then came the sound, a thunderous crack, followed by chaos. The first explosion tore through the first truck, setting off a chain reaction that lit up the Crimean coast. Russia's million-dollar resupply, gone in fire and smoke because of a weapon that cost less than a family car. And yet, that was only the beginning. The real shock wasn't the destruction, it was what came after. Russian radar operators panicked. Their Panzer systems, short-range anti-air defenses, locked onto decoys drones that Ukraine had intentionally sent seconds before the real strike. Like hunters chasing ghosts, they wasted precious missiles firing into empty sky. By the time they realized, it was already too late. The main swarm was closing in. In military terms, this is called tactical deception. But in plain English, it's genius wrapped in chaos. And as smoke filled the air, Ukraine didn't just hit hardware, they shattered morale. A perfect ambush, built on patience, precision, and psychological dominance. But here's the question that should send chills down your spine. If Ukraine can wipe out 8 million in missiles using $15,000 drones, what does that mean for the future of global warfare? And more importantly, who's next to learn this lesson the hard way?
Dawn broke over Crimea. Russian forces scrambled to understand what had just happened. Their command channels flooded with confusion. Was it sabotage? A cyber attack? No, it was the invisible hand of next-generation warfare. Ukraine's Ministry of Defense confirmed the strike within hours, calling it a precision deterrence operation. Behind that calm statement, though, was something deeper. A demonstration that technology, intelligence, and timing now outweigh sheer firepower. The world watched in silence, analysts calling it a turning point in electronic warfare. But for those who understand the psychology of conflict, it was more than a headline. It was a signal to every military superpower: adapt or vanish. Let's zoom out for a second. Remember the fog? That wasn't luck, it was a tactic. Using meteorological data, Ukraine chose the perfect time when thermal contrast and visibility would cripple Russian radar range. The Wild Hornet's AI was trained to exploit this, flying low, silent, and unpredictable. Think about it. Machines making split-second battlefield decisions faster than any human could react. Terrifying? Maybe, but it's also the future. The same AI that powers your phone's camera focus is now redefining who wins wars. Kind of ironic, isn't it? Your smartphone and a drone might share the same brain. One takes selfies, the other destroys missiles. But what made this strike poetic was the strategy behind it, waiting for Russia to restock. That patience was psychological warfare in its purest form. Ukraine didn't just destroy assets, they destroyed confidence. Imagine being a Russian commander thinking your resupply has secured your front, and within minutes it's gone. That kind of blow doesn't just break logistics, it breaks spirit. And that's where the heart of this story lies, not in the explosion, but in the silence that follows it. The realization that wars are now fought in data, deception, and daring. And yet, here's the uncomfortable truth. This kind of precision warfare doesn't just stay in one theater. Every nation watching is learning, adapting, preparing. The line between man and machine is blurring. The battlefield is becoming invisible. And as scary as that sounds, it's also awe-inspiring. Because what we're witnessing isn't just destruction, it's evolution. Now, let's end on a note of perspective. This 280K operation didn't just cripple Russia's air defense. It redefined cost-effectiveness in modern war. It proved that innovation beats intimidation. And maybe, just maybe, it showed the world that even the smallest nations can fight giants, not with size, but with smarts. So the question now, what's next? Is Russia planning a counterstrike? Or has Ukraine unlocked a new kind of warfare that even NATO and China are quietly studying right now? If you want to see how this single operation could reshape global defense strategy and how future wars might be fought by code, not commanders, check out our next video on the rise of drone empires, how AI is changing war forever. Subscribe, stay alert, and remember, the future isn't coming, it's already here.